We're ready to announce the results of the Choose Your Legends Round 6 event.
Alright, Celeb's
Thank you
won,
to all
Crom
the
second,
summoners out
Tiki's
there who
won,
voted.
Corin second. That's what I'm predicting.
The
But
winning
hell.
heroes this year, as chosen by you, are... Ta-da! The special Choose Your Legends versions of these heroes will make their appearance this coming summer. Oh, how exciting! I hope you're looking forward to meeting them just as much as I am.
Happy, like... So my dude, Salem here, and let's give a big happy birthday to the Manakiti who deserved and achieved the biggest W of 2022, Tiki. After 5 long years, Awakening Tiki's finally getting another ult after jumping all the way up to first place in Choose Your Legends this year. But, you know, Tiki's my absolute favourite character in literally everything. You can see her in all my emotes, a ton of artwork for different playthroughs I do over on Twitch, and I've got all 2 Awakening Tiki units in Fae, plus 10 merged with premium skills. So of course I'm saving up my orbs to do the same when Brave Tiki drops in August. And, you know, the orb stash is going great. But I'm really hoping we start seeing more love for Awakening Tiki after all the support everyone showed her this year. Like, no matter how good her Brave ult is, I don't want to wait another 5 years for her to get another ult afterwards. So I'm really hoping she'll get a lot more ults in the future. So to celebrate her birthday today, I figured I'd talk about my top 5 most wanted Tiki ults that I'd love to see get added into the game. Well, that was my original idea anyway, but since she went Choose Your Legends 6, I figured I'd talk about my top 6 most wanted ults instead of my top 5. As many cool ideas for new events I can think of, I'm only going to be talking about Tiki ults from events that have already appeared in the game, such as the Valentine's event or the Ninja event. Also, FYI, I'm going to be showing insane bias to Tiki here, and every single ult for our theorycraft is going to be like Fallen Edelgard levels are broken. So enjoy these pretty Tiki ults, and the tears that come with thinking about running into any of these units in Summoner Duels or Arena. So kicking things off is something a little weird since it could kind of be one of 2 ults, being a legendary or a mythic ult of Awakening Tiki. You might be wondering why a mythic hero when her younger self was a legendary hero, and the reason behind that is the legendary and mythic heroes are fucking confusing. The perception of legendary and mythic heroes that I originally had was that legendary heroes are these amazing characters that have had their names passed down as legends across far and wide, whereas mythic heroes are these godly characters with powers far beyond any mortal character. And you get these really weird overlaps where they'll just slap at the mythic status on any old random OC character like Otto or Reagan, who don't have any form of godhood whatsoever. Or these legendary heroes like Grima or Byleth who have achieved these godly powers but aren't mythic heroes. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, back on track with Tiki. There are going to be some huge spoilers for Fire Emblem Awakening's Future Past DLC, so you might want to just skip ahead to the timestamp that I've hopefully remembered to add later on. Towards the end of the DLC, Tiki is sadly killed by Grima, the scummy bastard. How could they do such a thing to Best Girl like that? After her death though, she ascends from her place as the voice of a Divine Dragon to being the Divine Dragon herself, taking Naga's place in this alternative future. And as Naga is a mythic hero and a very godly being, I think it would make sense if this incarnation of Tiki is also a mythic hero, as after all, she is the next incarnation of Naga. Sakuuremi really did an amazing job of designing her, as what they'd imagined Tiki would look like in Brave attire. She just rocks Naga's clothes really well, and I love that she's got more of her own colour palette on the design as well, instead of Naga's. It really is an amazing design that honestly could work really well for a Brave, Legendary, or Mythic design. But the only reason I would want to see this reserved for her Legendary or Mythic design is because I can see them pulling another Brave Micaiah or Lucina, where their Legendary outfits look extremely similar to each other. Which is something I'm hoping they don't pull again, though IS tends to worry me about it. For this mythic incarnation of Tiki, she's known as the Voice of Future Past, and I made her a green flying dragon because I'm petty and I wanted to make a better version of Naga, and I'd already thought of another colourless fire dragon version of Tiki on this list and I didn't want to double up. Her weapon is called the Divine Awakening, which grants her +3 rares, she's effective against dragons, and she also gets a Spectre immunity and can finally counterattack regardless of a foe's range. For her skill, she's got Swift Stance free, Dragon Wall, Ground Orders free, and finally the exclusive skill she receives as a mythic unit, which is called the Awakening Rite. It's a special skill that basically works as an Iceberg Deadeye skill on steroids. So besides dealing 50% of her res against the foe and the Deadeye effect, if her special activates, she also grants Naga's Divine Fang and Times Pulse free to allies within 2 spaces, which is kinda bonkers, not gonna lie. But hey, it's Tiki, she's my favourite character, and I'm not actually the one who puts her kit into the game, so I can make her as broken as cool and as I want. Her stat spread's pretty similar to Naga, to be honest. She's just a bit better in res instead of defense, and has a fair bit higher BST as she's a lot newer of a unit. I gave her a super boon in attack and defense, and also in speed. The attack and defense were to kinda patch them up a bit, and because they're usually Tiki's best stats. And speed is just because I felt like it, really. I gave her a super bane in HP and resistance though, so you might want to merge her up if you're unfortunate enough to get her with one of these banes. Overall though, she's a really fun unit that's honestly been long overdue. We just got a Legendary Tiki remix a few months ago, so it's about time Awakening Tiki has her time to shine, so we can finally get a mythic or legendary version of herself. And who knows, maybe we'll even get a remix for her towards Faye's 10 year anniversary too. Originally I was going to make a nice little segue talking about Fallen Edelgard and then transitioning into talking about Fallen Awakening Tiki. But since I made this top 5 list a top 6 list, Fallen Tiki is now the second unit I'm going to be talking about instead. Now normally I don't really like seeing Fallen versions of my favourite characters, because despite how cool the lore is behind them and how strong they usually are, I'm always like, no, IS, please don't hurt my favourite characters like this. But this design that Faithum came up with for Fallen Awakening Tiki is just too cool not to see in the game. I love the darker colour scheme on her outfit, and her hair turning white is an incredible touch too. Every time Fallen Banner season comes up, I'm always hoping and praying that somehow this design makes it into the game, since I love the idea of Tiki being Grima's voice instead of Naga's voice for this variant of her, so I thought Fell voice suited her nicely. I made her a flying colourless dragon to reference Legendary Grima, except she's way more power crept, since, you know, Grima's a very old unit nowadays. I named her weapon Creation's Voice. It accelerates her special cooldown, is effective against dragons and beast units too, so move over Edelgard, there's a new Fell Queen in town. She's also got distant counter built into her weapon, and she can also move an additional space at the start of each turn, as long as she's only adjacent to beast and dragon allies, or no allies at all, as a reference to Mini Tiki's Solitary Dream effect. Finally, if her special's ready and she's in combat with a beast or dragon foe, or the foe's HP equals 100% at the start of combat, then she can counterattack before the foe can attack during the enemy phase, or make a follow-up attack before the foe can counterattack on the player phase. If you thought she was already a bonkers unit, just wait till you hear her skills, because they're kind of insane. So she's got Dragon's Wrath as her B slot, and Speed Res Rain 3 as her C slot too, to reference Female Grima in her Legendary remix, which makes her already off to a fantastic start. That's not the end of it though, because she's got not one but 2 preferred skills in her kit. It was almost 3 since I was gonna give her something like Solitary Dream 2, but I figured 3 skills would be a bit too much, so I added the main effect into her weapon instead. First, she also gets Halloween Grima's Dragon Scale skill, her special skill being her other preferred skill, which is called Rightful God, a reference to Grima's skill on Lunatic difficulty or higher in Fire Emblem Awakening. It's similar to Aether, but the healing part is more similar to Brave Claw's effect instead. Also, it comes with the Deadeye Lethality effect, which makes for an incredible skill. Plus, it's a 4-turn special turned into a 3-turn special thanks to Tiki's weapon. I was considering making it a 3-turn special instead, but I've probably made Tiki broken enough as it is. Tiki's got a super boon in attack, speed, and resistance, but she's also got a super bane in HP and defense. But those can be fixed if you manage to get an extra copy, and can merge her up. Overall, she may not be a Raging Storm Gale Force monster like Fallen Edelgard is, but Fallen Tiki is still more than enough of a match against her, and I really hope they go with this kind of look if she ever joins the game in a Fallen Banner, since I really love this design, and seeing it in Fae canon and being a crazy unit like this would be incredible to happen. Plus, you know, young Tiki got a Fallen ult, so it's adult Tiki's turn to get one now. So you might be seeing a pattern here. So far, every ult I've wanted Awakening Tiki to have, young Tiki has already gotten at some point. Which I think's fair, you know. Awakening Tiki got a Summer ult during year 1, and young Tiki got a Summer ult in year 2. But every time young Tiki's got an ult since Awakening Tiki, she's never got one. But this ult is the final one to fall into that pattern, which is Halloween Awakening Tiki. We got a harmonic version of young Tiki this time, and while this version on theorycrafting is just Awakening Tiki on her own, I think there's some cool options that she could have a harmonic unit with. Marth, Celica, Miller, maybe even Mim if we ever got the dream crossover of Dragalia characters appearing in Fae. In this version that Sakuuremi created, Tiki looks stunning dressed as a witch, and I really like it when characters have different hairstyles than they normally have. Like, Erika looked great having a ponytail in her Brave ult, and Tiki looks cute as hell with pigtails in this Halloween ult. I thought that the broom would be a cool staff weapon, and could be used to make her a flying unit too. I thought she could ride the broom for movement, and then when she's attacking the foe or healing an ally, she'd have this cute animation where she sprouts her dragon wings to fly off of it and use her staff to heal or attack. Since she's dressed like a witch this Halloween, and we all know that Tiki loves her sleep after she went to bed for 5 years after that long day at the beach, I figured Sleeping Sorceress would be a fitting title for her. Her weapon is called Naga's Harvest, and it makes her an incredibly offensive staff unit. She's got Dazzling Staff 3 built into it, she's effective against dragons, and not only does she have Dragon Wall built into her staff, but she also has Miller's Isolation effect too, if her res is higher than the foe in any cardinal direction. For her skills, I gave her Attack Speed Catch 4, Colourless Feud 3, and finally a new tier 4 skill, Raffle Staff 4. I've already mentioned the skill concept a couple times in some other videos, but honestly I can't actually remember the effect I gave it, so I'm just going to redo it for this video. So the base effect is the same as Raffle Staff 3, however it also allows the unit to deal +7 or +10 true damage, and has the Deadeye damage reduction effect too. I was thinking I might do it off of a percentage of the unit's attack instead, but it would need some sort of damage cap if I did it in that way. And I almost forgot to give her a support skill, so I guess Nudge Plus works since Summer Hilda has it, and I think it'd be cute if two of my favourite characters share a skill with each other. For her stats, she's got a really good offensive stat spread, and some amazing resistances as well, having super moons in attack, speed, and resistance. She lacks a lot in HP and defense though, but since she normally has really good defense, I only gave her a super bane in HP. She may be a little bit too offensive for a healer and not very supportive, but you know, that's fine. She's still an incredible unit, and definitely a unit to watch out for in combat. December-January time has always been my favourite season. I get to celebrate my birthday, Christmas, New Year's. It's basically like a month-long way for me to get all my friends and family to hang out. And all the Christmassy stuff throughout the month in the run-up to Christmas is amazing. So of course I'm going to have to talk about Winter Awakening Tiki as one of the units on this list. I made her a red armoured Manakete since the majority of the time most Christmas units are armoured, and I love the toy sack she's carrying around in this design which Sakuuremi did, and it's amazing by the way. And I also thought it'd be funny if she's just carrying around like a sack of dragon stones that she can use to transform. Her winter title is called Divine Snowfall, and I named her weapon Gifts of Dragonyule, as a reference to the Christmas event in Dragalia Lost, a game which Tiki appeared in with her younger form. Plus, as a dragon herself, I figured the name suited her well. Gifts of Dragonyule, like all weapons I give Awakening Tiki, gives her built-in dragon effectiveness. She also gets distant counter and gains +5 to all of her stats, and a special cooldown charge per attack too when the foe initiates combat. Finally, as an added bonus, the foe can't make a follow-up attack if Tiki's got 25% HP or more, which really helps her shut down faster units. As for her skills, she comes with Attack Defense Unity, Crafty Fighter 3, and with everyone too. I kinda wanted at least one Awakening Tiki to use or reference a skill in some way, and I figured her Christmas version would be the best suited for it. For her stats, I basically dumped her speed stat, giving her a Super Bane in it, but she gets a Super Boon in res and attack, and all her stats all around are incredibly high, with her being an armoured unit and all. Honestly, my top 3 most wanted Awakening Tiki outs are so close to each other, it makes it really difficult to put them in some kind of order. And hopefully if we get Winter Tiki this year, I'll have a few months to save up orbs after I spend all my orbs on Brave Tiki. You might have guessed that I would pick a New Year's ult within my next 2 picks after what I said about loving New Year's and Christmas. And if you did, you were right, since the next pick I've got is New Year's Tiki. Again, Sakuuremi did an incredible job making Tiki's New Year ult, and Tiki always looks so pretty whenever she's drawn in New Year attire like this. I tried not to overuse the Manakete class too much because I really like the variety, and seeing characters use weapons they don't normally use, like some of Tiki's Melanax. I thought it'd be cute making her an infantry red tome user, or even a blue tome user instead, since Naga's a blue Manakete, and having her tome be an Omamori? I need to practice my Japanese, I'm currently a few months, Jesus Christ. Anyway, a Japanese good luck charm commonly seen around this time of year. Her weapon's called Naga's Fortune, and I figured since Manaketes work better on odd numbered turns in Awakening, having skills like Odd Rhythm in Awakening. So in odd turns she brings good luck to herself and her allies while bringing bad luck on her foes on even turns. Tiki always has an accelerated special cooldown and is effective against dragons, like always too. At the start of odd number turn, she gets +5 to all of her stats and grants Odd Tempest to herself and any allies within 4 spaces, and on even numbered turn, she inflicts -5 and isolation on any foe within 4 spaces instead. I also gave her not 1, not 2, but 3 new skills, with one of them being an exclusive one too. Let's start off with her exclusive skill that I created just for a Brave ult, which I theorycrafted last year, called Naga's Counter. It's basically just Distant Counter and Dragon's Eye combined. I don't know if that should be power crept or not at all because it's her exclusive skill, but you can tell me if it should or shouldn't be more powerful in the comments. The next new skill is basically the mage version of Lethality or Deadeye, which is called Rend Heaven, based on a skill in Fates. It calculates damage based off of 30% of a foe's attack, calculates damage based off of the lower of the stats foe's defense or resistance, and finally has the Deadeye damage reduction cancellation skill built into it as well, which is all packed neatly into a 3-turn special skill. Finally is a new tier 4 skill, Odd Tie Pulse 4. I wanted to give her something that would match the whole odd even thing with her weapon that she's got going on, but in retrospect, Even Tie Pulse 4 may have suited her better since her weapon gives debuffs on even turns, and buffs on herself on odd turns. At the start of Tiki's turn, if any foe has lower HP than Tiki, she'll reset their special cooldown charged to its maximum, and the difference between HP stats is 3 or more, then she'll also inflict them with guard as well. This really breathes some new life into a fairly forgotten skill, as Global Guard Affliction is kind of insane, and works really well on high HP characters like Tiki. She's even got a super boon in HP, as well as attack and resistance too. But she's got a super bane in speed, and while she does suffer a lot in this area, the Dragon's Eye part of Naga's counter helps her make up for it. Overall, she's a bit of an odd character who has some very interesting mechanics behind her, making her a fantastic buff and debuff bot, who looks gorgeous whether she's helping her allies or messing up her foes. Finally, my most wanted ult for Tiki is a bridal version of herself that I've decided to call Naga's Newlywed, who I've made a flying blue bow unit. This version of Tiki would be pretty special to me since Tiki's who I married in Awakening, and after getting all the skills she had access to from other classes, I always made her final class the bridal class. Of course, being my favourite unit, I gave her the best weapons that she had access to in this class. But I was always favoured the Astra bow, hence her weapon type and the name of her bow, which I'll get to in a minute. Tiki's bridal art was made by Sakudrew, and holy shit, I remembered first seeing this and thinking, oh my god, can they please add this into the game, because she looks so stunning in this outfit. I love how Tiki's dress isn't just plain white and has all these different colours like the green and the pink included in it, and part of me's kinda satisfied even if we don't get Bridal Tiki officially in the game, since I don't know how they're gonna top this design if they ever make an ult for her. Okay, enough of me fanboying over design, let's talk about how she works in Fae. Like I said, she's a bow unit and her weapon's called Divine Astra. Shockingly, it's still effective against dragons, I know right, what a twist. And it also grants her +4 speed, and she attacks twice regardless if she initiates combat or not. Finally, her damage is increased by 20% of her speed, and it neutralizes effects that prevent the unit's follow-up attacks during combat. So yeah, she's kinda broken, not gonna lie, but it's fine, it's Tiki we stan, and she can just go ham and break the meta of the game completely, like, yas bitch slay! She comes equipped with Deadeye, Attack Speed Unity, SD Far Trace, and finally Speed Defense Range 3, which will help her continue the yas bitching and slaying even more. As her weapon would suggest, she's got an insane offensive prowess, having a super boon in attack and speed, but a super bane in resistance and HP. She's also got decent defense, and her stats are kinda workable, but I think your best bet is just focusing on those offensive stats, and see what quad-based shenanigans you can come up with her. Okay, I think that's enough fanboying and theory crafting Tiki for one day, so I think that just about wraps up this video, my dudes. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, tell me your favourite Fae character, and what ults you'd want to see for them in the future, and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any Fae, Genshin, and more gacha content in the future. This second channel of mine is still pretty new, so I've got a lot of Fae videos that are on my main channel, as well as a bunch of playthroughs of games like Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, Pokemon Legend Arceus, and Neo the World Ends With You, that's over there as well. And if you want to see any of those playthroughs live, there's also my Twitch channel, where as well as live playthroughs, I also play games with friends and viewers like Mario Kart and Smash over there too. Finally, there's also my Discord server, so if you want to chill and chat with the rest of the community about Fire Emblem, anime, or anything else, then feel free to join. The links for everything will be in the description below. Huge thanks again to Jarret for editing this video, and as always, his links will be in the description. So with that, I think that just about covers everything. So thank you again for watching the video, and hopefully I'll see you around, my dudes. Until next time, bye.